And yeah, it was just one of those things. Her team suggested that I surprise her on stage. It's one of those things like if her team hadn't suggested it and I just did this, I might have been rugby tackled off the stage. But
I never learned to read your mind.
Never learned to read my
Couldn't turn things around.
You couldn't turn things.
Her and Joe and Aaron wrote the song. We're like, we want you to sing this part. I was like, this feels like going to the theater. Like, this is kind of awesome.
So I love surprises, and there's so much to catch up on in regards to Taylor-related news. Check out Ed Sheeran, sharing and he surprised Taylor on tour during the Red era and this video.
this is me and Taylor at the final night of the Red Tour in Nashville, at the Bridgestone Arena. And yeah, it was just one of those things. Her team suggested that I surprise her on stage.
I remember when we broke up, the first time seeing this and said I've had enough. Cause like we hadn't seen each other in a month when you said you needed space. What?
It's one of those things like if her team hadn't suggested it and I just did this, I might have been rugby tackled off the stage. But thankfully, like, yeah, it was all kind of set up. And I've got, if you look on my hand, I've got like a blue bandage on. I'd went to Santa's pub the night before, done karaoke, and I was drumming with 2 beer bottles, and I had to get like 15 stitches in my hand. I cut my hand open, and then did a gig, and then split it open again, and then that's me getting it wrapped up after the gig.
Oh, it looks part of the costume. You would have never known.
I was a clumsy drunk. Clumsy drunk.
V.
M.
Okay, you and Taylor Swift have been friends for decades. I'm a big Swiftie. What has been your favorite memory together?
That's a good one. Do you know what? I have this. I was in these court cases for like 2 years. Well, I mean, it was a lot longer than 2 years, but there was one each year, and I had to go through all my old devices to give them like, you know, voice notes and blah 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 for the lawyers to have. And going through all my old texts with people that I've known for that long, it was really like nostalgic going through. And I think that the period of time that I was on the Red Tour would have been, you know, I lived in Nashville and she lived in Nashville, and we used to fly to and from the gigs together and do all sort of, I don't know, I was literally spent almost every single day with her for about 6 months. So I think that period of time, and I do, you know, I see her when I see her. I probably see her like 4 times a year, and we do what I said, like, instead of catching up the whole time, we have like proper sit down 6-hour catch ups, and I think that that's like a really nice way to do it. But I think that period, yeah, 2013,
it's beautiful.
Oh my god. My conscience.
All this time, I never learned to read your
You
mind.
never learned to read my
I couldn't
mind.
turn things
You couldn't
around.
turn things
'Cause you
around.
never gave a warning
I
sign.
gave so many signs.
So many signs.
Around that time, you know, like everybody, like me, Aaron was going on Instagram Live and just playing stuff he's been working on, because I think we just needed to share.
Yeah.
And Taylor heard it. You know, those, and again, all the glory goes to Taylor for hearing as a songwriter what music she wants to make. But like, those songs are Big Red Machine demos.
Amazing.
At their core, you know what I mean? And then her genius was working with the genius of Aaron Dessner on making, you know, the strongest set of lyrics and songwriting that, you know, she's ever had, really.
Yeah, yeah.
And so during that process, I'm just sort of like watching it happen. And to me, it was very much like seeing Taylor enter our whole universe. Of course, there's no one bigger, and we're all bowed down to her, you know. But to see her come into that, just it was almost like I couldn't stop blinking. I was like, this makes so much sense. The love and community that Aaron had showed me over these years, and what we'd done with Big Red Machine and people and all the events that we had done, Taylor was just stepping right into it and flawlessly taking it. And then Aaron hits me up and is like, so, Butto, I think there's a song, you know, that Taylor would like you to sing. And I was like, Taylor? He's like, yeah, I haven't told you yet, but, you know, taking some of the songs and she's writing to them. I was like, awesome. I'm not doing anything today, you know? So they sent it, and like, I ended up adding a couple little bits, but that's how Aaron and Joe and Taylor wrote the song. And I just sang it on an SM7 in my little makeshift studio.
Just quarantining kind of on your own, just figuring it out.
And it felt level to everything else. I mean, and it's an exceptional song and an exceptionally popular song for a good reason, but it felt just so natural. And I'm so thankful for that opportunity just to have worked with such an amazing artist.
I love the Taylor song a lot. And it was also a rare time where like they wrote the song. Her and Joe and Aaron wrote the song. We're like, we want you to sing this part. I was like, this feels like going to the theater. Like, this is kind of awesome. Yeah. I added my little bits here and there, but no, it was just so enjoyable. And I did it on my own in COVID. And I was sort of just like looking out the window. There was like a bird watching me do it. And I'm like, this is just me. Cool.
I actually don't think that I believed that this song would exist in the world. I kept thinking this isn't really going to happen. Like, Justin is going to change his mind about this. And I wanted that to be okay with me. So I didn't fuse myself to the idea that this was real until the album was actually out. And I remember just like listening to Exile thinking, oh, it happened.
I hope this is Taylor's version. Taylor Swift? It is. Good. Okay, just checking. As I'm like, she'll never talk to me again otherwise. It's a great, I mean, you could pick out any Taylor record, and she's insanely talented and often ahead of her time. I remember hearing Reputation when she made it as a record, and I was like, not sure about this record, you know, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm a fan, right? And I'm like, yeah. It's not it for me. And then like years later, coming back to it and just going, I love this record. Yeah. So somehow she's just way ahead of the curve.
She's really one of the great songwriters. I mean, she's great. She's not just really good, she's a great songwriter. And I think she had that thing right from the beginning. I mean, when she was opening for us, I would sneak out front and watch her show, and you could tell she was playing way into the future already. You could see it in her. Yeah. You know, she had no production yet and all that stuff, and you could still see there was this projection that was way beyond that moment.
Would you have been able to predict, like, could you see that element?
Oh, yeah, you could feel it. And I don't think anybody that got around her was like, oh, this is a whole different person right here. This is someone going somewhere. Interesting. That has a vision.
Is your daughter a Swiftie? My youngest, they've all worked through their Swifties. But my youngest, we didn't go to the concert, but we watched the movie concert, and she was into it. She liked it. I like it. You know, put it on the car, and the kids have long been dropped off at school, and it's still playing, and you know, I'm not reaching to change it. It works.
Taylor Swift. I loved her music. I'm ashamed to think of her as like a machine leading up to that. But like when Folklore came out, I kind of had really a lot of respect for her as an artist, more so than a machine, especially like when you start to like learn about like that she writes like just everything she does.
The documentary was very helpful.
Also The Cat in the Backpack, thank you. Folklore was more my kind of music. I just thought it was so beautiful, and I just listened to it like over and over and over. And then I'd already loved the previous stuff, but then I went back and like really like dove back in. And then when she came to town, I took my stepdaughter and we went to see her.
The voice of a generation.
Can we just love her?
Oh, I do.
I mean, me too.
Part of me is kind of fascinated by her as a generational movement. I think she and I need to be in conversation.
I don't know why she's not here.
So I'm always up for some good Taylor Swift stories, especially when they're coming from her close friends. And so I appreciate Ed sharing so much with us, because it shows just how close he and Taylor truly are. Also, that surprise pop-up during the Red era was pretty awesome. For more great Taylor stories, check out this next video.